Today I'm reviewing 8 footrests, and yes, it is as boring as it sounds, unless you add fire! Fire! I'm gonna be rating these 8 footrests, not ranking them, because if you're outside the United States, you might not be able to pick some of these up, and I don't want you to have FOMO. But you really should have thought about that before you were born in the country you were born in. You always gotta think ahead. First up is the foam foot pad. It comes in at $27 and measures 17.5 inches wide, 11 inches deep, and 4 inches high at the highest part. The foam is super dense, so you don't have to worry about sinking into it, and you can use it 2 ways, with the flat part on the ground, or you can turn it over and actually rock it back and forth. Keep in mind that the fabric isn't the grippiest, so if you have it on the round side on a slippery floor, this can slide around. Speaking of the fabric, it is removable and washable, so it's perfect for those of you with nasty, smelly feet, like me.
Smelly
Feet.
Smelly
Feet.
What are they feeding you?
Rating, 6 out of 10. Next up is the mounted tilting footrest, and it comes in at $24, and everything about this is just cheap. The plastic is super thin, the metal is super thin, and it's not even one solid piece. You have to assemble it, and it rocks like crazy, it flexes like crazy. This thing is gonna break. I'm not even gonna finish this review. Just don't buy this one, please. Trust me on this. Rating, 0 out of 10. How many reviewers keep it honest and tell you straight up, save your time and money by not buying something? If you like that approach, like this video, get subscribed, and if you have any questions about any of these footrests, leave it down in the comments below. I do try my best to answer all of them. The Mavix Footrest comes in at $44, and the metal is much thicker, and it's a single piece construction unlike the mounted footrest. And the footrest plate itself is also much higher quality. It's using a dense plastic, and it swings back and forth much smoother, so it's great for fidgeters. It's 18.5 inches wide, but the grippy part is only 14 inches wide, and it's 3 inches tall off the ground and 11.7 inches deep. The footrest area is a hard surface, and it feels like coarse sandpaper. It doesn't hurt your feet, but good luck getting your nasty dead skin cells off of there. Because it's plastic, you can technically wash it, and it shouldn't be that bad though. The protruding metal on the side makes it feel like your feet are caged in and can feel a little bit restrictive. The grips in the bottom are a nice touch and keeps this thing from sliding around. The Mavix Footrest is good at what it does, but it's a one-trick pony, and an expensive pony at that. 5 out of 10. Next is the Mind Reader Footrest. It comes in at $28 and measures 17 inches wide, 11 inches deep, 13 at the longer parts, and it's height adjustable, so it can either be between 4 inches all the way up to 7 inches. The first thing you notice when you use this is that the surface kind of wobbles, and I'm not sure if that's a feature, like it's kind of like a balance board, or if it's a quality issue using cheaper parts. When you pair it with the ability to rock back and forth, again, it's a great footrest for fidgeters. The footrest itself is a hard plastic, and it uses these plastic massage bumps. One of the good things about this footrest is how easy it is to adjust the height. With some practice, you don't even need to get out of your chair, you can just do it with your feet. It does slide around a little too easily on smooth surfaces. Rating, 6 out of 10. Next up is the PACEARTH wooden footrest. It comes in at $35, and unlike every other footrest on this list, you can stand on it and use it like an exercise balance board. And I thought this was gonna be gimmicky until I used it and found that it made the day a little more exciting. My kids love to steal it and play with it as well. It measures 17 inches wide, 11 inches deep, 13 inches at the widest part, and 3.7 inches high. Like the Mavix Footrest, the top part feels like rough sandpaper, so good luck getting your nasty dead skin cells off of there. But unlike the Mavix Footrest, which uses plastic, because this is unfinished wood, water or washing it with water may not be the best idea. But having no metal protrude out on the side makes this much less restrictive to put your feet on, and for me it puts it over the Mavix Footrest. The feet on this thing are not super grippy, so it can slide around on smooth surfaces. Rating, 7 out of 10. Next up is the Leemart adjustable footrest. It comes in at an eye-watering $60, but it is by far the most customizable footrest on this list, but it's also the smallest footrest on this list. This comes in at 12 inches wide, 9.8 inches deep, and in terms of height, it's got a ton of height adjustment, and the padding does make a big difference. So with the pad on, the minimum height is 3.7 inches, and the maximum height is 11.7 inches. Crazy. With the pad off, the minimum height is 2.5 inches, and the maximum is 10.5 inches. The padding is a pleather material, and the cushion inside of it is soft, which is perfectly fine because there's a hard surface under it, and you can remove the pad and it reveals these tiny little massage bumps. To adjust this footrest, you unfortunately have to get out of your chair, and you can adjust the height both from the back and from the front, and it's really easy to do. You get 4 notches both in the front and on the back, and if you have a equal number of notches raised, you get a parallel surface. And if it's uneven, well then you get a slanted surface, and you can slant it towards you or away from you. And I would have given this a footrest a much higher score, but the tiny footrest area makes this unusable for me, 5 out of 10. Next is the most expensive footrest on this list, the Humanscale Footmachine, which is an awesome name. It comes in at $119, but it is clearly the best built out of all the footrests here. This is a rocking footrest, but it uses bearings to slide, and it's super duper smooth. It also has a very large footrest area measuring 16 inches wide, 11.8 inches deep, and it's height adjustable from 3.5 inches all the way up to 6.4 inches. It does have protruding metal, but that metal comes in at the far ends, and because there's still a big footrest area, it doesn't get in the way at all. To adjust this footrest, you do need to get out of your chair and loosen the handles on both sides, then raise or lower the frame to your desired height, then lock those handles back into place. The footrest uses real wood with a nice finish, and it's got grippy rubber instead of that rough sandpaper, so cleaning your dead gross skin cells shouldn't be that bad, and you should be able to wet it as long as you wipe it dry because, again, the wood is a finished wood. It also has grippy rubber on the frame so it won't slide on any surface. If this was cheaper, this could have been a 10 out of 10. However, due to the price, 8 out of 10. The last footrest is the Kensington Comfort Memory Foam Footrest. It comes in anywhere between $38 all the way up to $54. It's on sale right now, but I'm not sure how long that's gonna last. This one rocks back and forth like many on this list, but it's got a nice solid construction, so nothing about this wobbles or shakes like we've seen on so many other footrests on this list. Also, unlike all the other footrests on this list, this is the only one that uses memory foam cushion, which feels really great on your feet, and it's the only footrest where you can lock the rocking mechanism in any position, which is a really nice touch. It measures 19.5 inches wide, but the foam covers 18 inches, and it's 13.5 inches deep, but the foam covers 12 inches. This is height adjustable, and you can notch it up 6 times, and the minimum height is 4.25 inches, and the highest height is 5.5 inches. Adjusting the height though is a pain in the ass. Not only do you have to get out of the chair, but you have to figure out some way to pull those legs out, which is not easy. One adjustment that is easy to do is the ability to lock that rocking mechanism. You can do this by just using your feet to either lift up the tab or push it down. When it comes to the overall feel and function as a footrest, this one is my personal favorite, 9 out of 10. Bonus footrest number 9. This is called the Erect AF, and it's called that because it's so hard that it will turn your little baby ankles into man ankles or mankles. All right, this video's done. Stay honest. Fire! Fire! My neighbors think I'm crazy.